Hello, welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're returning. My name is Alyssa, and today I am going to try to talk you out of some current makeup releases. So if that sounds good to you, then stay tuned. Also, just want to kind of invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. My next goal is 100 subscribers, which is getting pretty close, and we'll see from there. Also, if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up because that also helps. So let's get into it. Alright, I saved a bunch of pictures on my phone so that I could look through, and I had a few things that I actually wanted to kind of talk about. I felt like there were some themes in what I was seeing. So I'm going to be over here so I can put the pictures over here. Okay. So the four main themes that I saw, the first one was purple eyeshadow. So for purple eyeshadow, oh goodness, come on phone, there it goes. The first one I'm going to put up, oh, and I also want to say I'm getting all of my pictures from Makeup on Your Radar. Her name's Jamie, and I'll link her Instagram profile in the description box so you can go and also follow and find out some new makeup releases if that's interesting to you. So I want to focus on themes just because sometimes you might not notice, like I don't always pay attention as I'm scrolling through if there happen to be things on repeat. And maybe if you notice repeated items, instead of buying one and then there's another one and there's another one and you end up buying all of them, maybe you just buy the one that you like, or maybe you realize that with this trend, is it a trend that you actually want? Because sometimes I feel like if we keep seeing the same things over and over, it makes us think that we want them, and really we would be happy with that. So the purple eyeshadow, so this is not going against the brands, I mean, they could still be pretty. So this Sinful Echoes palette, I think that it looks pretty, okay. It has more purple than some of the other palettes that I saw. And, I mean, maybe this is the color story that you really like. For me, when I'm looking at it, I guess they are showing it as sort of like a, I don't know, I guess I just wish that there were some more lighter shades. There's that one Illusion shade, which is some sort of shifty kind of eyeshadow. And, the other shadows, they look, on the deeper complexion, I think you see more of a range. So for myself personally, this would not be a nice range. But, maybe for deeper complexion, maybe this would be an ideal range for you. But okay, so that's the first purple one that I saw. And then I saw this one from DD Signature. I'd never heard of the brand before until the Cappuccino palette that everyone's talking about. And so again, we've got some purples going on in that palette. And otherwise, it's also just kind of a rainbow palette thing as well. So that seems a little bit, do you need another rainbow palette along with the purples? Maybe having all these purples is what catches your eye and you're like, ooh, that's what I need. But notice that there's still a lot of just rainbow shades then too. All right, and then where else? Let's see. Oh, then I guess there wasn't purple in this palette, but from Electrum Cosmetics, it's that one pinky purple shade called Unveil. That shade to me kind of draws my eye in, because I think with all the other murky shades around it, it's that pop of color. It's like how that pop of blue would always be in all the neutral palettes for a while, because it really stood out, and it's like, ooh, it just looks so pretty, it draws you in, it makes you think that's something different. And so when I see this, I'm like, oh, okay, so there's that shade, and there's the other, what is that one? Oh, I think I cut off, so I can't quite see what the other, it's on the top far right. It's like this red kind of looking shimmery shade. So it's like you see these bright colors and it's like, ooh, is this the palette for me? And then I think about it and it's like, no, I'm not really a grungy eyeshadow kind of girl. So just because there's a couple shades in here that draw my attention doesn't mean that I should get the whole palette. And I mean, it is pretty. Again, I'm not arguing that these things are not pretty. All right, and then, oh, more purple. All right, this palette was from Clarity Cosmetics, and some of these were a little bit hard to get a picture because it's like videos and all. I just try to get a quick snap to kind of show what I'm talking about. So again, we've got a quad or so of purple shades. And so again, you know, do you keep needing all these new purples? You know, maybe not. These definitely look more cool tone than some of the other ones. Some are a little bit more pinky based. So but the purple is calling to you, figure out what kind of purple you want and don't just go like, ooh, it's purple I should have, because then I look at the other half of the palette and that darker green, I have so many similar kinds of greens I feel like to that. It's just not one that I enjoy using. And then the blues, I know I don't get enough use out of the blues I do have, so I'm just gonna stick with the blues I have already. I don't need a gold shimmer, although it looks like it might be shifty, but if I've already ruled out a few of the shades for myself, then I'm not going to get the palette. I'd rather just get singles. And then finally, for our other purple palette, we have from Glamlight the Fresh Prince one. And so again, we've got some purples in here. Now this palette definitely is very much like, well, here, I'll say this. People say it's the 90s. I feel like it's almost more the 80s. I know it was very colorful and we had neons and all, but to me the 90s was a lot more, I don't know. I guess the earlier 90s we were wearing the bright neons and all that kind of stuff, which I guess was when Fresh Prince was on because I was younger. But I still kind of have this more toned down image of that time, so I don't know. It's just kind of a bright rainbow palette, and you know, the pink and purple is what draws me in, and then it's like, well, but the blue and the green is not my thing, you know. So when you see these rainbow palettes, that's kind of a problem too, is that usually people have, like, there are people who like blue and green, like I like pink and purple, and then a lot of times those people don't always like pink and purple the same way, you know, and so it doesn't make sense to get a full rainbow, you know, if you have your certain colors that you like to wear. All right, so that was the purple eyeshadow. And then we have lots of balms, mostly lip balms, but there are some face balms as well, because some of these are like lip and cheek and stuff like that. So there's this one from Lancome, all right, and it's just a lip balm, okay? I also include the swatches, and, you know, I did not include how much it costs. But I will say, however much it costs, you know it's going to be more expensive because of the brand, and they look so similar. You know, there's slight differences. Please, if you were to get one, just buy one, and you probably have a certain kind of nude shade that you like to wear. And also on your lips, like, yeah, they show up as very colors on the skin, but your lips are not the color of like just your skin. They're pigmented, so you're not going to see that little hint of color as much, you know, like the little differences. So pick one, don't buy them all. Along the same lines, there's one from YSL, and you know, again, the colors are all very similar to each other. You don't need to buy one from all the brands or multiple from all the brands. And this was not a balm, but it kind of made me think of it because, like, it's supposed to be like a easy type of thing. So from Pat McGrath, it's a lip pencil, and those are supposed to be, you know, you can kind of, you're drawing on your lips versus like having to kind of paint on the lipstick, and that's fine. But I will say that these, they're $29 each, and they look cheap. Okay, they don't look like $29. They look like a lip pencil from all sorts of brands. I would not want to pay $29 for that. All right. Oh, another lip balm from Bella Beauty Bar. And this is one that has SPF in it. Again, it's just another one. This one might be a little bit more pigmented, but it's hard to say because they're just showing it on white. So, you know, everything looks more pigmented on white paper. And, oh, yep, here's another one from House Labs. So it's the Lip and Cheek Blush Balm Stick. I don't know about you, but I don't want a hydrated cheek color because I feel like my hair would just stick to it and that would not be fun. You know, I'm not a shiny cheek kind of person. I know a lot of people are, so maybe this is you, but it's not me, and you should really think about if it is you. Maybe you could try it out in a store or something just to see, but also want to point out that usually if it works on your cheeks, it doesn't also work well on your lips or vice versa. So, you know, in order for it to be glossy enough to like go on your lips glossy, then it's gonna be like so sticky on your cheeks. So just think about that. Again, I didn't include the cost for that one, so I'm sorry, but they are kind of a little bit more of an expensive brand, so I'm again thinking not worth, you know, whatever it is. Like there's been so many lip and cheek balms and I've never seen one that was that great. All right, then sparkly eyeshadows. This one I don't have quite as many to show you, but they're all the time. You know, it's not necessarily trending, but just something else that might kind of draw your eye and make you think, ooh, I want that. So I have from Glaminatrix. I have from, is it Mika Beauty Shop? So those are just two like right there that are like singles that you can buy. But then I also wanted to point out from, actually I can go back to Electrum Cosmetics because they also were releasing some singles alongside their palette. Okay, and I just realized editing me. I'm so sorry. It's a lot of pictures back to back, but you can do it. Again, lots of sparkly things. I always want to point out that the way people will swatch them when there's a set of singles like this, a lot of the times, you know, what you would really find helpful is swatching the similar shades next to each other so you could see like how different are they. You know, like if there's two greens, do you want both greens, or is there one green that more speaks to you and maybe you can tell better if they're next to each other? But they never do that. They alternate and do things like that, so it's harder to tell if things are the same because like I'm looking and I'm like, well, Majestic and Stargazer and Luster, like those all look silvery. I can't tell what the difference is between them, but maybe if they were next to each other, I could kind of be like, oh, that one's a little more pinky, that one's a little more silver. You know, I don't need to buy all three. I could just pick the one. But, you know, they don't want you to just pick the one. They want you to get all of them. Another shiny eyeshadow thing is from Lethal Cosmetics, their Airbender collection. I don't watch TV or movies really, so sorry, not all up on everything here. But I want to say the color stories, I think they did a decent job. I'm a little confused by, I think that's it's whatever's the bottom right one. Is that supposed to be air? I remember someone said like one of them didn't make sense with the name, but I don't know. It's the one with the yellow and the red and then the light blue in the middle. So it's the one with the yellow background of the square. So these have some different shifty eyeshadows that again are gonna like kind of pop out at you. But I will say I am disappointed to hear that they did not seem to include this as PR for people of deeper complexion. They're just all very light-skinned people who've been receiving it and swatching it. So I don't know how it looks on, you know, a variety of skin tones. And that's disappointing because they're a really big brand, so they should be able to do that. And from what I know of, it's a TV show, right? What I know of Airbender, I thought it wasn't white people, right? Wasn't it? Or it's an anime? See, I don't know. But I thought it takes place without white people. Or not all white people. So it feels a little bit, I don't know, not great. A lot not great to do the PR that way. So, you know, because there were also like other things in the collection with the liners looked interesting. Not that I was necessarily going to buy anything, but I could be like, oh, that's pretty, you know. It gets me kind of like, oh, you know, keep my eye on lethal, and then I hear that and I'm like, never mind, I'm okay. Alright, so sparkly eyeshadow, you know, don't just go off of the swatches that they're showing. If you really want to have one, try to find different creators who might do comparison swatches. I'm thinking about like Bad to the Brow, Seeking Shifts, who's on Instagram too. Like she's sometimes does more on there. There's Glam Smitty. So a lot of these different creators, Deandra Nicole, you know, they'll swatch things and show like, you know, a good variety. So just kind of do that and don't just, you know, buy all the sparkly things. All right, the final thing was bronzy gold neutral goddess types of things. And I guess it makes sense. We're entering summer. Well, in some places we're entering summer, not really here yet, but that's how it is here. So I saw this palette from NARS, so Laguna face palette. I guess we're gonna just really get Laguna super hard, just like we did Orgasm. I don't think there's more than one. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it kind of looks like there's only one version, and that is disappointing if that's true, because obviously the one shade of, you know, Laguna is not going to work on everyone. I don't even know if it works on me. It looks like it would be too dark for me, you know, so I guess, you know, let's say maybe it does, then it works up to like a certain, you know, depth, and then what? You know, like, are they supposed to just use it as an eyeshadow if it doesn't work as a bronzer? And then, but it's a face palette, and yeah, and there's, I mean, I'm only seeing the one. It's like there's a lighter tone and a warmer kind of toned, and there's some peachy shades up there, but they look small. Like, how would you get a decent face brush in there? So are you meant to use it as eyeshadow? And, you know, I guess that other big pan is a highlighter. I'm not using highlighter like that anymore, so I feel like a lot of people just shifted more to shimmer in their blushes, not having to do a separate highlighter thing. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. And then, oh yeah, there's this Pro Sculpt Eyes from CXC Beauty. Lots of neutrals in these eyeshadows, and they're just very similar. I don't know why we need so many. And then finally the Natasha Denona, I almost said the Natasha Gold palette, but Natasha Denona Gold palette, or Golden palette, because obviously she already had the gold palette, and all the things that go with it. It just looks really boring. If you already had the gold palette, there's a lot of repeats. And if you don't have the gold palette, doesn't she already have these shades in some of her other palettes that you can mix and match because her shades pop out? I don't know. I'm not a big neutral lover. I'm not a bronzy goddess type of lover, so maybe I'm missing the point here. But every summer they like to have these different bronzy golden things marketed to us, and I'm betting, unless you're brand new to makeup, you probably already have some from last year that you could use, and you don't need to buy all the new stuff, you know. And maybe wait and see how the reviews are. You know, if you really like it. I don't think they're limited edition. Maybe I should look again. Oh, it locked me out. Come on, phone. There we go. I don't see anything about being limited edition. I could be wrong. So, anyway, I hope that this was helpful for you and that you were talked out of some makeup. And if you like me talking about makeup, then maybe you'll subscribe to my channel. Maybe you'll give this video a thumbs up. And until the next video, I hope you'll be doing well. Bye.